The luxury rail liner has long faded from the North American landscape, and today only a handful operate worldwide. One of the most famous is Royal Canadian Pacific. It proudly carries on this historic tradition and offers a 5-star culinary feast of food, hospitality, and accommodations, all the while traveling through the beautiful Canadian Rockies.
The starting point for this journey takes us to the heart of Alberta, Canada, and the city of Calgary. When it comes to offering luxury on the rails, Royal Canadian Pacific is considered one of the finest experiences in the world. A journey on this train is about leaving the world of everyday life behind and relaxing, revitalizing in an environment of lavish rail luxury and beautiful scenery. It all begins inside the historic Canadian Pacific train station in downtown Calgary, where the Royal Canadian Pacific throws a reception for guests who arrive from around the world to savor what's ahead.
We're looking forward to the overall experience. It's like, you look at these cars, it's like stepping back into history. And then in addition to that, you've got tremendous food, tremendous wine, and the most fascinating passengers that you'd ever meet.
The Royal Canadian staff of 15 greets the guests, who in turn meet each other. A nice icebreaker for more than 40 people, about to spend 5 nights and 6 days together in Railroad Wonderland.
Here at Royal Canadian Pacific, our goal is to make sure that when guests come on board, their trip that they're on is not really a trip, it's more of a life experience.
On the first morning, Canadians looking up at this mile-long trestle at the right time would have seen the 10 cars passing overhead. 7 cars for guests, 3 for staff, and scenery for everyone.
This is an unbelievable view. I love the greenery and just the scenery, and the valley itself with the Old Man River is just unbelievable.
And these are just some of the views that await passengers as they venture into the Canadian Rockies. Owned by the Canadian Pacific Railway, this parade of almost 100-year-old cars earned the Royal designation from Queen Elizabeth II in 2000. Royal also applies to the Mount Stevens, the luxury car that is situated at the end of the train. Other than at meals, the Mount Stevens is where guests most often share hors d'oeuvres and discuss their experiences so far. This trip is not all about luxury and beautiful scenery. The railroad also likes to educate its guests on some of Canada's pioneering history that's along its route. Residents of the cold town of Frank call this Turtle Mountain because they said it always seemed like it was moving. Unfortunately, it was.
There was a devastating rock avalanche in 1903 that came down, buried part of the town of Frank, and killed at least 90 people.
2 million cubic feet of Turtle Mountain flowed like a roaring liquid over Frank and the railroad tracks too, leaving a vast rock cemetery for the still buried town. The Frank Slide is one of the many stops along the line of the Royal Canadian Pacific. Others include a visit to the picturesque Lake Louise region, golf at one of 4 mountain courses, and in what looks like a scene from A River Runs Through It, fly fishing.
Well, I've been fly fishing most of my life, and to have opportunity to come here, be on the train every evening, fly fish during the day, is like dreamlike.
Oh, it's cold. Oh.
For others, the chance to cool off in the fresh mountain lakes beckons. Where else can you take a rail journey deep in the Canadian Rockies and swim in the pristine mountain waters?
It's the stuff of memories, just to be swimming in the Rockies.
There's another quiet side to the Royal Canadian Pacific, where guests prefer a good book, a soft pillow, and no shoes.
I feel like this queen, I think, traveling in this fancy train.
One of the key ingredients that makes this journey so special is its staff.
The level of service to date has been unsurpassed. You cannot ask for any more. The attentiveness, the helpfulness, everything the staff could possibly do has been done.
All the staff on the train work tirelessly to make their guests experience a royal one.
The level of service is upscale. It's luxury. It's about the details. It's about no needs are gone unmet.
China and crystal and silver get the white glove treatment as attendants prepare the dining car for another meal, while the rest of the magic unfolds in the kitchen, where 4 French-trained chefs create art.
But it's more than just the cooking. It's the ambience. It's the friendships that are gained within the guests themselves, and also the staff service. It's a richness that you can't find anywhere else.
The food and service is just one of the many highlights of this trip. The other is the breathtaking scenery that surrounds you. And the best place to absorb it all is on the back of the Mount Stevens car.
Oh, you run out of words to describe it. It's just, it takes your breath away at every turn. If you think they've got a better view, we've got a better view. There's views everywhere you look. It's tremendous.
From Canada's beauty to exquisite dining, a staff that meets and anticipates guests' every need, and fellow travelers who become friends. This journey may end after 6 days, but it lasts a lifetime.